Hey everybody. So this is just I don't know, some ideas I had this morning. I have about 15 minutes before I got to go do something and I thought, let me just get these ideas down because I think they're important. And I was and I think other folks are going through this too. That's why the lighting is not super awesome. It's super bright on one side and dark on the other. Um and I don't have my good mic plugged in, so I hope you can hear me. But the reason I am coming on here is because I had an aha moment. I always am like celebrating my clients' aha moments, but I want to celebrate an aha moment for myself and share it with you. Especially like for those of you who I what I've coined the term woopreneur. So like woopreneur traditionals are people like me, you're healers, readers, coaches, that skew to the metaphysical. Non-traditional woopreneurs are people that are, maybe they're a CPA, an attorney, paralegal like I was, um, or, someone who works at, you might even work in a cubicle, but, you are, whether you're working for yourself or someone else, what your backbone of how you do your thing is a metaphysical mindset. So, like when I was doing paralegal work, I would have crystals and cards and stuff in my drawer. I had my spray with me. So when somebody would come near me and then leave and their energy would linger because it was not super awesome, I'd be like, psh, 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 psh. So that's what I mean by woopreneurs. And just in general, if that's why I always say, like, when I talk about what I do, it's for woopreneurs, spiritual side hustlers, and light leaders in all careers. So even if you are working corporate environment that maybe you love, even if you don't love it, you're still probably bringing light to that situation. So this is for everybody that's in that space. So I don't know about you. I'm a Virgo sun, Pisces moon, Capricorn ascending. So like I overthink and I overwork and then I cry about it. And one of the things that I struggle with, it is a challenge for me that I am continuously working and practicing on, is not feeling guilty or not beating myself up about not moving forward in an external way, I guess is the way that I want to put that. So what I'm trying to get at is usually in January, February timeframe, we kind of come out of the holidays and we think like we're like a racehorse, all of the retrogrades go away. We have all of the people saying it's time to go. The planets are aligning. You're going to have an abundant, especially this year. You're going to have an abundant year and it's going to be great. And you're going to have all these aha moments and blah, blah, blah. Right. And a lot of times we visualize that as this external horse leaving the gate. I'm getting stuff done, I'm putting stuff out there, I'm doing things. And this year for me, maybe, I know it's not for everyone, but this year for me, I have like my goal for first quarter was to get my Akashic Records class up and running. It might be more like first month of second quarter, because like every time I started like digging into that and trying to get stuff done on the platform I was using, it was clunky and it wasn't working the way I wanted. And it was good for what I was doing on it, but now doing this, it wasn't good anymore. So there was that kind of learning curve or stumbling block, depending on the way you look at it. Then I kind of felt like I had this new calling that really wasn't new. It has been there for probably 30, 40 years. And I just was very not like, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Spirit was like, yes, you do. And I was like, no, I do not. In fact, I recall having a conversation with a friend of mine who channels, which is what my calling is, I've done mediumship. Those of you who have worked with me know that I do mediumship. I do intuitive readings. I do intuitive coaching. I do source energy work with people. And channeling is just something that I kind of throw in there and I don't tell anybody that I'm doing, because I had this block around two things. One was, well, why is someone going to think that I'm so great at channeling when you have all these great people like Abraham and Seth and, Sheila Gillette and Esther Hicks and all that. And by the way, if you hear snoring, that's my dog. That's Buddy the puppy I like back here snoring away. So I apologize. Usually I have my mic on so that you don't hear that kind of stuff. But anyway, and I was thinking, I was having that whole I'm not enough, who am I, blah, blah, blah. And then secondly, I was like, do I really want to share like this body with other entities? I don't know about that. So anyway, it was really interesting because right around the time about a year and a half ago when I was kind of like coming back to this idea and again pondering, is this, am I okay with this? It was weird because all of a sudden I came across a person who does what's called conscious channeling, and I was like, okay, because I also don't channel like when you see Abraham and they're like, or they're like, I'm gonna go get Abraham, and she's like, and then comes back and it's like Abraham is there. That's not really how I do my channeling. I do my channeling where I'm talking and then they come and they talk and I'm fully still here. May not remember all verbatim what's going on, but I know the concepts. And then when they kind of lay down something really kind of harsh, I come back in. Like it's like this weird, interesting kind of co co-coaching, co-intuitive reading thing that I do with spirit where I channel for me, I don't even know how to teach this to anybody because I've been doing it since I was born, where I talk and somebody might ask me a question as we're having a session and spirit comes in and channels. And the funny thing is people will start trying to have a conversation, like defend, like say, no, that's not it. And I'm like, spirit's talking, source energy is still speaking. So you might want to, so that the connection isn't broken. And then at the end of it, they're like, oh, right. Yes. So that's been coming up and trying to, and so all of that, I had this idea of how I was going to start this year and I moved forward and I was like, yes, the planets are on my side, energy's on my side, we're going to do all the things. And because I had this vision of the external look of what moving forward meant, I had no idea that my moving forward was going to be totally internal. And because we live in a world where self-reflection and the stuff that goes along with that, like napping, like sitting quietly and meditating, like journaling, like we all do this normally for us in this world, but we live in a world where it's like you got to be busy all the time. And busy or productive, and sometimes we confuse the two. And all of that is like external proof of moving forward. And I think the reason I hopped on today to kind of share is that maybe, and this was my aha from this morning, it only took me till like, what's today? The 19th of February. So nearly 2 months to kind of be like, oh, it's okay to give myself permission to internally move forward. Because it's really interesting when you think about things. If we're going to talk about manifesting, which is really what this is, we're manifesting the forward motion because the external proof comes, is already there. And that's almost like, here's the present moment. And so I'm focusing on that. So if I'm not moving forward externally and I'm focusing on how I'm not moving forward externally, of course, I'm going to block my forward movement, first of all. Secondly, it also blocks my internal growth and unfolding. And what if all this energy about moving forward, and understanding that this is an 8-year, if you turn it on the side, is infinity, that's source energy. It's like all that stuff is not 3D. All of it is the mystical, it is the energetics. It is not stuff that we can control. It is about really diving deep. And if we're gonna create something, we have to understand who we are and what we do. So it was so interesting over the last month, the things that I've come up with that are all internal. I've been doing some other work and redesigning my website, which I'll share with you probably, I don't know, probably in March, on the new platform that actually works to hold all the things. And I have to say, doing that, it's weird because I was so forced to slow down and apparently my whole moving forward has been internal. I've really been reflecting on what am I supposed to be doing? It shouldn't, yes, I'm supposed to teach and I'm supposed to guide and be like, your bridge between the divide of, when you're disconnected from your soul to reconnection with your soul, the divide between the 3D mindset and the divinity that you are and the guidance from source energy. Like that's my role. Like that I didn't even come to, even though you guys probably be like, duh. because of two things. One, I didn't think of it that way. And two, like I even said to Darren the other day, I was like, I was talking about all this and I said, and he goes, well, why have you been withholding that? And I said, because, you know, maybe somebody will think I'm uppity, that I'm channeling source energy because of the way I see things. Everything is source. Yes. Do I channel like and have conversations with other kinds of spirit? Yes, but are we all source energy? No matter what dimension it is? No, and I'm sorry, I'm starting to itch my nose because it's starting to get warm here in Tennessee, and we're gonna probably hit allergy season in about like 10 minutes. So I know that's what's going on. But anyways, it's like source energy to me is everything in various manifestations. So to me, when I do channeling work, I always say I'm channeling source energy because regardless of what form it comes through, whether it's an interdimensional person or entity or a spirit or an angel, it's all source energy. I mean, I could give it a name for the form that it comes in, but like that, who do we give more credit to, the message or the messenger? And that's kind of, the thing. And I was giving, and honestly, when I think about it, I was giving myself too much credit that everybody would be like, who is she to talk? Like I was giving all this credit to garbage. When in fact, it's like, it's the message, man. Just start talking about the message. The message is love. The message is joy. The message is abundance. The message is how do we get there? All that kind of stuff. And so to kind of round this up, because I gotta go here in a minute. I'm doing this video today because if you are feeling stuck, like you're feeling like I'm watching all these videos from, all these people who channel energy and all these astrologers and all these people that are like, yes, this is, we're supposed to be moving forward. It's going to be a great year. It's going to be an abundant year. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that our idea of what great means and abundance means might need to be fine tuned from external stuff like abundance. When we think about it, oh, I get a new iPhone, or I make all this money and I buy a new house and I get a new job that gives me $40,000 more a year. That is so small, y'all. So small. I know for some people be like, small, like, I get it. I'm trying to remodel my bathroom. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. And, I still live in the 3D too. Like, I'm trying to figure out aesthetics and budget all at the same time. But if I'm going to work from a spiritual place, the fact is that stuff, that idea of abundance or joy or love is so small compared to the inner work. So yes, the outer, like when we see the results of our work, really that's the results of inner work that started before, the idea that you had, this time you took to journal it out and figure out what is it that I really want. Like when I started redoing the website, I'm like, oh, I need an about page. Well, this about page doesn't even feel right on the old website. I need to come up with something new that's more me. And that's what catalyst of all of this stuff, of conscious channeling, of doing videos that feel more aligned with what I'm doing and who I am and how I want to share with you guys. So I wanted to come on and say, if your forward motion is internal, that's okay. Give yourself permission to be okay with your forward motion being internal right now. It'll come out eventually. It will. I promise you. You can't do that much internally and not have it show up externally. But right now, give yourself permission and stop beating yourself up for not like producing something. It's okay, because you are producing a lot of stuff. You're producing yourself. You're manifesting the connection that which is between you and your source energy, and you're taking your life purpose as a manifestation of your soul purpose. And sometimes we need a lot of time to do that internally so that we can work all our shit out, get it out of the way, declutter internally, and move forward. So if that's you, that's me. I love you. Hope this was helpful.